Lions drag strip.
Lions drag strip. Long Beach, California. March 8th, 1970. The day that changed Don Garlett's life forever. Garlett's on the line in the final round, pops the clutch, and the car explodes in a fireball.
Well, that was a terrible time, because just moments after that accident, as they took me out of the car, I saw my foot was blown away, and I had enough sense to know it wasn't anything magic going to be putting it back on there. It was severe pain, I mean excruciating pain beyond description. Just a very, very sickening feeling, a sinking feeling. You know, at that point I wondered if it was all worth it. And little did I know, you know, I figured my career was over, and all that I had done had brought me to this point. Now I was going to be a cripple for the rest of my life. And little did I know that it wasn't even the beginning of a career. Well, I had a bad experience with the Chester fire, and in getting off of the medication that they give you to ease the pain. In that particular case from Chester, it was mostly codeine. Well, they came with my actual shots after I came out of the operating room, and I mean, I guess they'd given me some stuff when I didn't know what I was taking, but by the time that I regained my sense about me, they came with my pain medicine, and I didn't want to take it. So they sent the doctor down to me to talk to me about it, and Dr. Larson says, no, you don't have to take the pain medicine if you don't want to. He says, but I imagine in a couple of days you're going to take it, so it's here if you need it. So on about the third day, he was right. It was out of this world, and it was so bad that at night, the daytime wasn't too bad because I had my books, and I had Star Trek, and I had Tom McHugh, and I had my visitors, and I could live with it. But at night, when I tried to sleep, I would go into this cold sweat, and it would completely saturate the bedclothes. And I'd ring the nurse, and she'd come down and change them. So on this one particular night, the nurse comes down about 4 in the morning, and she says, we've changed your bedclothes once tonight. We're not changing them anymore. You'll get them changed at 10 o'clock in the morning with everybody else. She says, now, if you want your pain medicine, I got it right here for you. And I said, I'm not going to take my pain medicine. She says, good night, Mr. Garlitz. And so there I was, and I'm telling you, it was unbearable. I'm laying in an ice cold bed, it's wet, and my foot is just like you just taking an ice pick and just jobbing it in the thing. And I screamed out to God to help me. And he in fact did help me. He enveloped my body in this cocoon, and it was just like it was pure love. And that's why my cross says God is love, because I could just sense that love that he had for me. And he warmed me from that cold bed. He removed my pain. He gave me this feeling of well-being, of loved, of being wanted, of being cared for. And it's a feeling that you have to experience to understand where I'm coming from.
This physically took place? You actually physically felt this?
I physically felt this thing, and it was though I was raised right up out of that bed without any medication or anything. And that was for all practical purposes, that was the end of the pain from that thing I went through, with the exception of the mornings when Mr. Larson, Dr. Larson, would come down to the hospital. There was 17 stainless steel stitches in my foot, and he'd cut them with some dikes and pull them out. And when he did that, I would actually feel that.
When you actually, because, you know, there are the doubters. There'll always be people
Let
who
them doubt. Let them doubt. I'm just telling you, that's what happened to me.
You reached out for the Lord, and what you're saying is, as soon as you asked for that, it came.
Almost immediately, within moments. But I'm telling you, you got to understand something. I cried out with the faith of a child. The same way your little boy Andrew would look at you and say, Daddy. Now, he would expect help, right? I mean, he wouldn't be just saying that for TV or for somebody to hear him. I mean, if he was actually in agonizing pain and he reached up his hand for you, would he expect you to reach down if you were within reach? Well, I think that's what the key was. I was laying there in that hospital bed, and I reached out with the faith of a child to God and said, Father. And I think he just reached down and got me.
And that day really changed your life forever.
Forever.
The Radical Cars debut came exactly 1 year later to the day at the same drag strip where the country's hottest slingshots were entered. Laughter and ridicule was the response Big Daddy got with his newfangled machine, but the last laugh was yet to come.
Weird.
Well, you showed them different, didn't you?
Well, it was runner-up there at Long Beach, and it should have won, but you got to remember something. It was 1 year exactly to the day. It's the final round. I'm in the same lane. It's about the same time of day, and you talk about deja vu. That was it. And for a split second, as that light went yellow-green, I thought about that accident 1 year before, and I was late. I had the best ET, but Gary Cochran just left me at the gate, you know, like a beached flounder, and he outran me.
Well, you lost the race, but you won something else.
Well, I got my confidence back. The car, I knew it would handle. People weren't laughing so much anymore, and then 2 weeks later, we went to Pomona to the Winter Nationals, and we won the event to become the first rear-engine dragster to ever qualify at a national event, and then finally even to win it. In other words, up to that point, no one had ever even qualified a rear-engine top fuel dragster at an NHRA event. Those people were witness to a 20th century miracle. When that car was up in the air, all I was doing was hanging on for dear life. I had nothing to do whatsoever with the way the car landed, the way it bounced, the way it stopped so quick because of the burnout backwards. I wasn't doing any of that. That's my guardian angel just looking out after me. That's all I can say. What else can I say? I certainly wasn't driving the car. Here I am in one piece. I actually got out of the car on my own power. I could have been killed. I could have killed somebody. The car could have went into the crowd. It could have hit some safety crew people. It could have done anything. It didn't do any of that. It was just an unfortunate thing that happened. The car was fixed in about a week, and away we went. I mean, how simple could it have been?
And Pat, did you think you'd be marrying a legend when you married this little boy back in Tampa, was it?
No, we were just a couple of young kids then.
Young kids, and now you're a couple of old kids?
Really? I guess so.